Thank you, Madam President, and good afternoon. Madam President, I rise in support of this legislation, and I'm so excited about this bill because this legislation has been one that I think has been on a lot of people's wish list for a number of years. And sometimes you have to work in the moment. And when there's the opening to move forward big legislation or big ideas, that option or ability doesn't come along every day. And when it does come along, you have to seize that moment and you have to then move forward with it in a very deliberative way so that we can make a real difference for the people that we serve. I want to thank Senator Anwar for all his work on this legislation, Senator Kelly, our Senate President, Senator Looney, who has prioritized this bill as Senate Bill 2, and for his leadership and his work on this as well. It is important that we do have this as Senate Bill 2 as one of our caucus priorities. That when we stood together in February on a very cold day, if I remember, very windy day, sunny day like this, but windy and cold, we promised the people of the state of Connecticut that we were going to prioritize these issues, that we were going to have a bill that would deal with mental health issues and talk about it in a way that, as Senator Fazio said, that has some issues that we can tangibly put our fingers on now, but we'll thoughtfully look at ideas and issues going down the line. And I think that is extremely important for us because we know we cannot solve every issue today. We can make a real difference today, but we can also work to make changes along the way. But we have to have that first start, that first step, and that step is today. So again, thank you to Senator Looney for the work in putting this whole agenda for us together. I'm very pleased that we have such bipartisan support on this bill. I think that sends a really important message to the people of the state of Connecticut. This is not a Democratic issue. This is not a Republican issue. This is an issue that impacts literally every single community in the state of Connecticut. And that is very important that we know that and we acknowledge that. And that's why we have, I think, such great bipartisan support. I just want to mention, and I mentioned this in the circle before, when we talk about children's issues at times, but I serve as a parent on the School Governance Council of my son's high school. And being on that School Governance Council really puts you on the ground as to what's happening in our schools on a day-to-day basis, talking to other parents, the principals, the principal, the teachers, and others who are part of that school community. And we talk a lot about, especially last year during the pandemic when it was more remote learning, kids weren't seeing each other, and how it really did expose the cracks that we've always seen in the system. But they were exposed more during the pandemic, and they grew. And that we had to have a response to that. And so I think that, like with the funding in Section 1 with the mobile crisis response unit, being able to be there at schools 24/7, 365 is going to be very important. It's going to make a real difference. And those are the kinds of things that I hear about as a member of the School Governance Council. Same with the report that's going to happen in the study at UConn with regard to social media and kids on social media and on their devices. Senator Summers was right. Kids are on their phones all day, all night. We need to know a little bit more about that. We need to keep talking about early childhood education and how we can make sure that kids are getting everything they need when it comes to early childhood education. Telehealth, we have seen through this pandemic how important telehealth services are to our constituents. And not having it really was a huge issue, and providing telehealth services opens the door to people having access to healthcare, which is something that I know so many of us have fought for such a long time. So, Madam President, like I said, I'm very excited by this bill today. I want to also, not only in addition to thanking our senators, but we have hardworking staff in the background who has done so much. We have Courtney Cullinan, our Deputy Chief of Staff, Policy Director, Julia Anderson, who's worked so hard as well, Ken Cicenti from my office, who has helped on a constituent issue that's in this bill as well, and our legal staff and others, OFA, OLR, LCO, who have worked tirelessly on this, as well as our House counterparts also. So again, Madam President, I urge everyone to support this bill, and that this bill, as Senator Haskell said earlier, will make a tangible difference in the lives of so many. Once we pass it, it gets signed into law, and we can implement many of these wonderful sections. Thank you, Madam President.